All right, what's up, guys? Jeremy Conn here. All right, a lot to go over, and I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I can. Getting ready to, we're heading out of town, and as I said on yesterday's podcast, you'll see me with a different location, but I'm taking my microphone and my laptop, so hopefully everything goes well. But yeah, I got my teeth kicked in yesterday, and it's not. I think it's my friend says there's no laughter like the laughter that should be crying. That's what that actually was. Yeah, it was just kind of one of those weird days. Bullpens just doing me dirty. We have bullpens that when I had the under, they come in with the gas cans and light the place on fire. The Phillies scoring 8 runs after the 8th inning the other day. The Cardinals dropping a 5 spot or a 6 spot late in the game. And even then, still having a chance to win, and then the floodgates just open up. So some bad luck there, in my opinion. I always feel like I try to be as fair and honest as possible when it comes to, did we get lucky on that game? Did we get unlucky? That's what I mean about being results driven. If you're handicapping and you're watching the game, things happen. Weird stuff in baseball. But with the Giants the other day, having the best bullpen in baseball and watching a guy promptly give up 5 consecutive hits and still not be pulled from the game. Yeah, when you've gambled on the other side, it doesn't make you feel good. So, and I talked about the Orioles game. I love the Orioles over in that doubleheader. And first game, they had a chance to really get after the starting pitchers in the first inning and just settled in. The Orioles were trying to ambush David Peterson and kept popping up and hitting ground balls, and he wasn't getting as deep into the game. Like, they weren't making him throw a ton of pitches. So, and when you see that and teams talking about ambushing, it just means that this pitcher always throws first pitch strikes. So they think that might be the best pitch to hit, and teams go after it. When it's not working, you watch a guy throw a complete game with 80 pitches. It's just one of those things. But in the nightcap, I said, hey, I'd go after it and bet the over if the under hit in the first game. And depending on when you got it, it pushed. But man, does that suck, because there were so many freaking base runners on the entire time, and they just couldn't get them in. So let me get away from that. As I told you, I always do my my research with my strikeout props and my hitter props for all the guys that are supposed to go over 2 bases. And and I've been updating what my weather algorithm says when this gets posted in the morning, and I can run the algorithm. And those are leans, guys. So I think for what was it? Friday, the weather was great. Here, I've got the list here because I have Friday stuff. Like the Orioles over, the Reds over, the Royals over was the best hitting spot of the day. The Cardinals over, the Padres over. They all look like great spots. The first couple I mentioned were even better than the other ones. So when you see days like that and you're looking at it, okay, am I matched up with the public? Is everybody on this? So with the Reds and Rockies game, I saw more money coming in on the public on Friday. In some of the other spots, like everybody's going to bet the Royals under, and I think it's a terrible take. Like, I love Bobby Witt over 1.5 bases on Friday. I love the Royals over. Just a great hitting situation, and you have one pitcher coming off the IL, and we don't know how deep he'll go. And I just watched the Mets pitch in Baltimore, and they used up a good portion of that damn bullpen. So I thought it was a really good play. So we'll find out how those things work out. I'll obviously be talking about that on the next podcast. But I want to get into the plays because I'm short on time here and kind of run through this and give you guys my thoughts. So let's start it off. Miami Marlins at the Orioles, mid-90s. It's very humid here in Baltimore. It's Trevor Rogers versus Jansen Junk. And if you're looking at this game, like, I'm going to be on the Orioles, and I know I'm going to sound like a broken record with it. I'm not. I have no problem betting against the Orioles at any given moment. I've said this before. I would bet against my mother in a street fight if the other lady had a better hook. So I want to win. That's what I want to happen. So with this, the Orioles are in a bit of a roll. I know they just made that weird trade the other day. Jansen Junk in his last 2 starts has looked like junk. Early on in the year, he looked fine. Orioles struggled with left-handed pitching. All weekend, they're going to see right-handers, fly ball pitchers. The hitting weather over the weekend in Baltimore should be amazing. But Trevor Rogers has just been limiting damage. I'm going to tell you to take the Orioles in this, and I would probably lean towards the under. But my lean in the game is going to be taking the Orioles. Trevor Rogers, revenge spot against the team that traded him away. Some people might say Kyle Stowers and Connor Norby, who's in that trade, getting to play against the Orioles. Marlins got hot there for a bit. What was it? 7 wins in a row. And this past week, The scoring's come back down a bit, and I think Trevor Rogers is just going to light them up come Saturday or today. It's always weird doing this the day before. Let's get to the Cubs and Yankees. So this is mid-80s, winds in from about 8 miles an hour. It's Matt Boyd versus Max Fried. You're getting help from the wind blowing in. You get Max Fried, who's a ground ball pitcher. You get Matt Boyd, who he's somewhat of a hybrid. I mean, more of a fly ball pitcher, but he gets a ton of Ks, and there are a ton of Ks in the Yankees lineup. If his prop isn't ridiculous, I'm probably going to take a look at Matt Boyd's strikeout prop. But I think the under is an excellent play here. I know it's the weather it's warm, it's Wrigley. Both these pitchers could get nickel and dimed. I just don't see it. Fried's He's been really good this year. His past couple starts, he's been hit around a little bit, but nothing that's like alarming where it's like, oh, something's wrong with him. But I do think the under looks like a good play. All right, so let's get to the Dodgers and Giants. This is another interesting game. 60 degrees, the wind's blowing out at about 9 to 10 miles an hour. We got Shohei Ohtani versus Landon Rupp. I talked about this before. I think Landon is sneaky good. Like, he's not going to overwhelm you with his stuff or anything like that, but I do think he's one of those guys that can keep you in games, especially against a team like the Dodgers, who have a ton of power. And then if he struggles, the Giants have, even though it didn't show up for me the other day, the best bullpen in all of baseball. So I trust them a lot, especially even with the conditions. Wind blowing out at Oracle Park does not mean the same as everywhere else. So 9 mile an hour to 10 mile an hour winds, cut it in half, and you're probably getting that. It is a bump to bats anytime you get the wind blowing out, but it's going to be below 60 degrees there during the game. So I think the under looks like a solid play here as well. It's something that I'm pretty sure I might be targeting this. Shohei Ohtani's starting to get stretched out, so maybe 3 innings, maybe 4, depending on how far he goes. I don't know how much they plan on using him, but even still, having somebody come in after that with this stadium, how big it is, I'm going to take the under here, lean towards that with the Dodgers and Giants. Now, I try to do this every time before the last pick. 10 mile an hour plus strong winds. You're going to see it in Detroit. You're going to see it with the Chicago White Sox, and you're going to see it with Minnesota. So, again, the winds, very heavy in those spots. Anytime it's 10 plus, I like to mention that because I do think that's a huge boost. As I've said before, except in San Francisco, it's not as big a boost as you would think. But all those spots have 10 plus mile an hour winds. Now, this is the interesting one for the day that I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to give out the free play here. It's the Washington Nationals. I almost said Mystics. I've been so good in the WNBA this week, and baseball's been so awful to me the past 2 days. But I've been hitting WNBA game after WNBA game, so maybe that's why the Mystics were on my mind. But the Nationals versus the Milwaukee Brewers, 80 degrees. There's light rain, and the reason I'm bringing up the 80 degrees, I know it's a dome. If the rain holds off, it fits into that wheelhouse of opening up the dome. My assumption is that they don't because there is rain in the area, so why would you even think about it? It's right on the cusp of that 65 to 80 degrees where they usually like to open it up. Either way, I'm not concerned over the weather there or anything like that if the dome gets opened up. We have, and I'm going to do my best, Shinosuke Ogasawara. We're going to call him S.O. That sounds better. Brandon Woodruff for the Brewers. Now, if you looked at S.O., he only went 2 1/3 and got beat up pretty good. Milwaukee will run on anyone. I don't care if you have a left-handed pitcher that picks everyone off. They take off. There's a ton of speed there. They hit for average. They have some pop in the lineup. I'd love to see them get another big bat for that lineup that they have because there's a ton of guys that get on base and make things happen on the base paths. On the flip side, we have Brandon Woodruff, who came off an extended IL stint. And what have I said about this? I do like targeting these pitchers, and he pitched amazing in Game 1, had a ton of strikeouts. That's why I think he gets beat up a little bit in this game by the Nats, and I definitely think the Nats are going to get beat up by the Brewers. My lean's going to be, or my free play is going to be for the over in the Brewers and Nats game. I think it's a great play right now on paper as I look at it. I will post, once the video is edited and everything's put out there, I'll post below what the weather's saying, where the algorithm is telling you to bet, and you guys can use that how you see fit. Just because I'm posting something saying the wind's blowing out at 10 miles an hour does not mean I'm going to be on the over, and conversely, the same thing with the under when I post my premium plays. And you can definitely check it out. I usually have a 3-pack up. If we have multiple sports, sometimes I'll cross them over. I think on Friday I did a triple basketball play where I had one baseball game and two WNBA games. Every once in a while, I'll throw out a 5-run homer, which is my 5 favorite plays on the day. But the singles there, you can check them out. I was saying the other day how funny it was that depending on, I guess, the write-up or what people see, I had the day where I got all the games right except for one, and everybody bought the one I got wrong. I think that was Monday or Tuesday this week. I don't know. Everything kind of runs together, so forgive me. I do this every day, and I typically don't take any days off. So one of the other things I wanted to say, since I didn't do it at the beginning, click the like and subscribe button, please. That does help us out. And if you click the notification button, it lets you know anytime there is a video posted. Check out all the premium plays we have going on over there. And I know Christmas in July is going to start on Monday, I believe. So I'm hoping to have some of my packages up that'll be discounted. If you guys don't know about me during football season, I have something called my Concrete Lock. I've done this on radio for years. It's my favorite NFL play of the week. I may end up using it, too, for some college plays as well because, full disclosure for me, I've killed it in college. I've been really good in college the past 2 years. NFL, I've had my ups and downs. I'm usually, like, the playoffs are great to me. I had a nice little stretch run last year that was just perfect. And the Super Bowl treated me kind as well. But that being said, we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there and talking about how I approach the NFL and college football. But I do love those weeknight games. I love those island games, meaning there's 1 or 2 games on and all the eyes are on them. Those home dogs on Thursdays and Friday nights that look so good sometimes. And people are like, ugh, can't believe you're betting that team. Yeah, a lot of times when those teams get national coverage, that's their Super Bowl and they play their best. So anyway, I'm rambling here. Definitely check out the premium plays over at Pickdawgz. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Hope you guys win some cash.